Hey folks, welcome. This is TJ Forrest with Stone Pencil, bringing you the second video in our series on the new GED test. In this video, we're going to be talking about the 4 separate subjects that you'll need to know for the GED test and how it breaks down as far as what you'll need to know in each of the sections. All right, let's get rolling. So the first test that we are going to talk about is the RLA test, which is Reasoning Through Language Arts. This is, you can think about as kind of like the reading test or maybe more like English. As you can see there with the breakdown here, literature is only a small portion of this. So literature would be stuff like, Shakespeare, poetry, which isn't, there's not really a lot of that or hardly any of that on that. But you can think more of, like stories, Mark Twain, things like that, things that are made up that are part of our literature base that we use in English classes. Now, 3/4 or 75% of this test is actually going to be informational. So you think about this as everyday stuff that you do. So reading an employee manual, newspaper, a magazine, things like that, where you'll be asked questions of what's the main point of the author, what's the point of view, things like that around everyday informational stuff that you would see in your life. All right, let's take a look at the next test, which is the social studies test. Now, as you look at this circle graph, you'll notice that half of it, 50%, is on civics and government. So this is actually a cool thing. Civics is like what it means to be a citizen, and government is about how our government works. So if you wanted to bone up on this section of the test, you could actually study for the citizenship test for this country. So with people who want to become citizens, they have to pass this test. Interestingly enough, many Americans can't pass this test. But if you want to bone up on this for the GED test, this would be a great place to start. And there'll be links at the website Stone Pencil that can take you to this and then provide other information about how you can study for this. Now, what's cool is that it's 50% of the test. So if you do well on this part of it, if you study this part, you've nailed 50% of the test. And you only need to get a little bit more to pass. And also what's interesting is as you study for the civics and government section, you can't help but to also study for the other 3 sections, because we can't talk about being a citizen and about the government of the United States without talking about economics, about money, about banks, about how the economy works, the stock market, things like that. Also, the way of the shaping of being a citizen and the way that our government was constructed and developed is all based in the history of the United States. So in order to understand what it means to be a citizen and how the government works, you have to kind of understand a little bit about U.S. history. Also, it's all embedded within the world. In other words, we're working with other countries, and also about geography. So, for example, geography, where are particular areas in our country where we can grow crops? Where is the oil that is extracted from the land? How about water, gas? Where are the populous countries located? Cities located, that sort of thing. That would be geography. All right, let's move on to the next one, which would be science. And I was kind of bummed to learn that only 20% is on Earth and space science, because that's my strength, and I enjoy that sort of thing. But you'll notice that the rest of the test is divided equally. So life sciences would be plants, animals, humans, how they work, and also the physical science would be everything else after that. Once again, more information will be at the website Stone Pencil to give you some guidance in studying this. Okay, finally, the last test, which is the math test. You'll notice it's just broken down into 2 parts. I think this is a little confusing. Let me lay it out a little bit more clearer. Let's talk about the quantitative problem-solving aspect. This would be like the basic stuff that usually we associate with math. So that would be basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then how to do those with decimals and with fractions. Also, say with decimals, you want to know about rounding. There'll also be word problems, all in this section. Fractions, how to do the basic operations, but also how to change from fractions to decimals to percents. And then also in the quantitative problem solving section would be ratio, proportions, and percents. So all of that would be in this section. And then the algebraic problem solving would be things like graphing, the Cartesian graph, one-step problems, two-step problems. And in a sense, if you're solving proportion problems and percent problems, you are actually also doing one-step and two-step algebraic problems. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. And I can explain that in I explain that more in some of the courses that I provide at Stone Pencil and some of the articles and ebooks that I have there. Also, in the algebraic problem solving section would be polynomials, quadratic equation, also applying formulas to find perimeter, area, volume, say surface area as well, surface area of a sphere, volume of a cone, things like that. All right, well, those are your 4 sections, and roughly about how they break down kind of gives you an idea about where your strengths might be and where you might need to apply a little bit more study habits and that sort of thing. Let's talk about what's up next in the series. The next video 3, will be about the computer aspect of the testing. So how that's a little bit different than the paper and pencil, what to expect. For example, you don't get a handheld calculator. You have to do one on a screen. Will formulas be provided? Things like that. I'll give you the lowdown on that. And then in video 4, we're going to talk about the writing requirements of the new GED. As you know, there's not a specific section that is just write an essay. They have writing incorporated into 3 of the 4 subject areas. So they have it in the subject areas other than math. So in the RLA, social studies, and science, you'll be asked to write short essay or even a little bit longer essay. So if you know how to write an essay, you'll be kind of okay in there. You should probably bone up on how to write a persuasive essay and how to write a comparative essay. Because folks have been asking for this, I have paid courses that you can get at Stone Pencil if you're interested. In particular, people have been wanting to be able to get my feedback on their written assignments. So you don't need to opt into this as one of the levels for the course, but if you wanted to, you could add this on and then get my feedback on your written pieces. So something to think about. Finally, you'll want to subscribe to the YouTube channel here at Stone Pencil so that you don't miss any of the future tutorials that are coming up, and they'll be coming out on a pretty regular basis. I'm pretty stoked about that, pretty excited. And then finally, be sure you swing by the website. There's a bunch of free information over there. And when you go to this link, stonepencil.com/free library, you'll be able to immediately access a couple of ebooks. There's one ebook there about solving the 4 essential steps of solving math word problems. And there's also a book on how to develop sound study habits. It's a really cool book. I'm stoked about that one. So I'd be totally interested to know what you think about them. So swing by there, pick them up. All right, folks, this concludes this video for now. I'll see you next time.